Oh, we got it. We're recording, everyone. Aloha and welcome to Wisdom Dialogues with Hope Johnson, coming to you from Hawaiian Paradise Park on the beautiful Big Island of Hawaii. I'm here with Anne. Anne is with me in person. We were just cracking up at something. Anne is just, I don't think I've ever seen her laugh this hard. This is really fabulous. I just was talking about how Facebook is punishing me basically for a post that I guess they didn't like. It had too many hearts on it. That's what I'm thinking. There were just too many hearts on that post. So I'm being put down to the bottom of people's feeds for 30 days. So not as many people are going to see me on my Facebook Live, but I'm going live there anyways for people that might be looking harder than normal for me. And just for fun. I got a message here from my sweet, sweet friend Goda. I just wanted to say how inspired I am by you, that you're able to transmute people's anger that is apparently directed towards you. I actually love that. I'm telling people, look, you got a bunch of anger and you want to get it out. I mean, I'm not telling you to come around like beating my ass or anything, but like if you want to like tell me all the things and not have me reject you or make you wrong or anything like that, go ahead, like just let me know. It's good. I don't mind, there's certain places like my Facebook my Facebook homepage, I guess that one, I'm not having people on that one that don't find me to be a gift. That's the criteria, I guess the qualification, you could say, for being someone who's a friend of mine on my personal Facebook page. If you present to me that you would rather see me in a light where I'm pretty damn disgusting, that's not the place for you. But I'm still open. Like if you want to send me messages, still open to like hear all of the things. And I've heard a lot of those kinds of things this past week. I don't know how long it's been, but in this past week, people just randomly like send me a message, and I'll let them know that I appreciate them, and to feel free to let me know whatever it is that they want to get off their chest. It's fine with me. It doesn't mean anything to me as far as the feeling that's being expressed. That doesn't mean anything to me. It's not like it's like this feeling that's being expressed is like, please take this pain for me. Please take this pain for me. It's like a call for love. It's a call for help. Okay. And it's like, I can help them with that, even though they don't realize I am helping them with that. I can help them with that pain. So I welcome that. Like if they want to just communicate with me and let me know, and then I just keep on letting them know how they're accepted and looked at in gratitude. And I appreciate them for helping me to see, because people are presenting as if they're really pissed at me, as if I'm this super dangerous racist thing. I freaking love that. I think it's fun. I think that's just, it's so funny and so silly. It's fun for me. It actually is fun. And the thing is, it's like when you're doing your duty. And in this case, my duty apparently was to post to Facebook a meme that just said nigger on it 10, 7, 10, I don't know how many times. And then there's a bunch of hearts behind it. It's like a heart thing. And, it's like when you are called to something, it's inspired, called for something, but there's a fear of being rejected, of being made a fool of, or people being pissed at you, or losing business. That's another thing. Losing business, that's another thing that's brought up to me, because I have a business. It's like number one, when the inspired call comes, if I allow that, and I don't have a choice in it, it's just that I allow it. I say yes. I say yes in my mind to the inspired feeling, not necessarily to the thing. The thing doesn't matter to me. I don't mind, the whole time when I'm working or any, to me, it's all like play, anything where it's like, I'll just, in this case, I was baking. What was I baking? I was baking bagels. That's what I was baking. And then all of a sudden it occurred to me to post this thing. And, I like really checked in with myself, and I noticed a sense of resistance to that. And I just like felt into it and noticed the sense of joy in that, and a sense of sharing an extension in it. So in that, there was, okay, just willingness. So it goes. And, it's like at no other juncture, was there this kind of opportunity where there's people that are normally not even talking to me and don't even give a shit about me. They're all of a sudden talking to me a bunch. And I'm like, hey, lovely to communicate with you. Hey, nice to hear from you. I love it. Yes. Okay. So, okay. Go to this message. Did I just get really tripped off on one sentence? Yes, I did. Transmute people's anger. Yes. Oh, in regards to the nigger post. Yes. Watching people say those awful things about you actually brought up a lot of anger in me. I love that. Look at that. Look at all the gifts. Look at all the gifts. There's one little meme. All the gifts. It's really wonderful. It's really lovely. Watching people say those awful things about you actually brought up a lot of anger in me, because I just see you as this beam of light who loves to push people's buttons so they can see their underlying anger. Well, thank you for looking at me like that. Thank you. That's why, see, that's why, Goda, you're my friend on Facebook, and also we're really good friends. See, you see me as a gift, I see you as a gift. That's how we are. That we see, we're open to see the gifts. So it's like, we're open to see the gifts, then we're going to see the gifts. Okay. So we all have gifts like that. Yeah. That seems to be my gift. I'm super good at triggering people. It's good because, I don't say I'm sorry. I don't get into, I might even say I'm sorry. I don't know. I haven't said I'm sorry about this particular thing, but I'm not against it. You know what I mean? Like, as far as I'm not resisting it itself. It's more like, yay, oh, you think you're mad at me. And I've been like that since I was a kid. I'd have my friends and they'd think they're mad at me. And I'd be like looking at them. I'm like, oh, you think you're mad at me? Well, I love you. Then he's like, dang it, Hope, I can't stay mad at you. I mean, who knows? Maybe those guys can stay mad at me because they're not going to be hanging around with me that much. And, they can't understand, from the perceptual view, how I can be the way I am, how like I'm like, I'm just so disgusting because I would just say the word nigger. Because I would just say it, nigger, 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 nigger. There you go, bunch of times. All right. It just makes no sense. That's why it makes absolutely no sense. This thing that we have tied to a word, there is no history. Okay. It's like the history, forget about that. That makes you weak. How vulnerable are you? How vulnerable are you to be controlled out of hearing a word? Fuck, are you going to say that you're not conditioned or you're not, and see, here's the thing. I don't tell them stuff like that. Now, I'm saying that because this is Wisdom Dialogues, and we all deal with that in different aspects. If it's not for the word nigger, it's something else. It's beautiful teaching. It's a beautiful teaching because it's so blatant. And then, it's like everything else, that you're playing that with may not be as blatant as that. And that's just like a clue. Like, look how we play these patterns. It's not anyone in particular. It's not to hold judgment against anyone, or even make an opinion. I don't even make an opinion about them because, you know, they are there for me. They're completely there for me. They're there for me, for my awakening. I know why they're there. I'm not there to teach them anything. So I've been having the most fun conversations, you guys. Like last night, I just the things that pop out, these things that pop, right? He said, don't even try. No, he didn't say don't even try. He said, you'll never be able to just defend yourself against this. And I was like, you're right. I will never be able to defend myself about against any of these claims. It would be insane to even try. And then the fact that I won't explain myself to him makes me a racist. But in another sentence, don't even try to explain yourself. You're never going to explain your way out of this. So it's like, either way, I'm fucked in the situation. I'm completely fucked. I am just a bad person in the whole situation. No matter what I say, it doesn't matter. So, I just let him know, hey, you know what? Whatever it is that you feel or think and want it to be about me, it's fine with me. That's totally fine with me. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hold both of us in truth, something to that effect. I'm going to hold us in truth. Okay. I know we'll meet again. There's only one of us, and I love you, and I just kept on loving this sweetie pie up like that, and, he was bashing me for being white. And he was telling me how I think he said people with Black children are more intelligent than me or something. It was really interesting. I was like, I don't know where that comes from, but that's awesome. I agree. I agree. And intelligence was brought up, and that was a fun one because for me, like, intelligence has everything to do with emotional intelligence. To me, there's no other kind of intelligence that's even really relevant. It's like, I guess you would call that intellectual, and it's not even intelligence to me. I think there's one kind of intelligence, and that's the intelligence of the heart, the intelligence that knows when you're hurting yourself, when you're trying to project the pain and you're trying to project it, you're actually trying to repress it. You're trying to keep it hidden from yourself. Okay. Yeah. So yeah. It brought up a lot of anger when you saw, people can really get vicious, huh, Goda? It is awesome. They get, and when I get these emails too, they get really vicious too. And I love that because I could feel it, I could sense that. And I love to feel that. And it's kind of like this. I heard this in my yoga practice today. Something that Buddha would say about the salt. And he said, if you take a teaspoon of salt and you stick it in some water, a glass of water, it's going to pollute the water for you. It's not going to be pleasant to drink. But if the water is a huge ocean and you put it in there, it doesn't even matter, right? Like that. So that's why Buddha talked about space. So it's like there's this space of awareness for whatever it is that's arising. And I feel myself growing large. And I've seen this before in a vision too, right? I'm like large. I find myself up against maybe like a dark energy, and it's coming. And the reason I say up against is that there's a sense that it's dangerous. There's a sense that it's a threat. But as soon as I'm willing to change my mind, all of a sudden I become large enough to embrace this dark energy, and just hold it. And I've always loved to do that. I mean, there's one example from when I came here, and I was barely here in Hawaii, and I was walking down by Uncle Robert's, which is all like a bunch of native Hawaiian people, right? So I'm walking up, and this dude looks like a Mexican, and I totally go, what is a Mexican doing in Hawaii, to the guy? And he gets really pissed. He looks like it anyways to me, and I get excited by that. I'm like, oh, Oh, you think you're pissed at me? This is fun. you know, and so the conversation progresses, and it's like it's like, what's the problem? You have something against Mexicans or something? What's wrong? you know, what's wrong with me thinking you're Mexican? You're short for Hawaiian, and you're dressed like a Mexican. Next thing you know, we're walking down the beach like arm in arm. And he's like, weren't you going the other way? And I go, yeah, but I came here to meet you, obviously. We're hanging out now. It's just and there's been so many different instances of like that all throughout. I just get this inspiration and something will like pop out of my mouth and like kind of shock people, kind of like a shock, you know, and and I just learned to enjoy it because it is going to piss some people off. I mean, ever since I was young, whatever it was, you know, when I worked in a Mexican restaurant back in the day when I was like around a bunch of college people. There were some people, in fact, everyone thought they didn't like me at first. And then there were like a handful of people that never did think they liked me, you know. And so you get that, you get that kind of thing when you're just allowed to be authentic, because people aren't authentic with themselves and they're kind of pissed about that. So they tend to get pissed at you if they're pissed about that for themselves. Just for being free, even when I was a little tiny, like tiny kid, there would just be like things that I would do or say, or something would just pop out of my mouth, and a lot of the times I don't even know it's coming. It's a trip. It'll just like pop out. It's like I'll be sitting there eating, minding my own business, and there's a conversation over there, not even involving me. They're having a conversation, and all of a sudden I look up and blurt something into their conversation. They both turn around and look at me like, what the fuck? And I'm like, oh, never mind. I don't know where that came from. Go back to eating, you know. It's not me. It just comes out. It's this structure is wired like that. Like that's where how the inspiration kind of comes. Kind of like a shocking it's a shocking thing, I guess. All right. I see you as this. Yeah, that's so sweet. So it gives you an opportunity. I'm so glad. I felt disheartened to witness how the majority of people were not understanding how it was nothing serious. It's not really the majority of people, I would say, because there is no majority. That's the thing. There really is no majority. Here's the thing: mind energy attracts. So, what you're witnessing when it seems like a majority, you're witnessing a bunch of people who are attracted to the same kind of banter. So they're attracted to that energy. So it looks like it's a lot of people. You can do an experiment like this. You can go to a conservative news channel, like let's say Breitbart. Let's say, okay, Breitbart's pretty conservative news channel, and then go to a liberal news channel, like say maybe CNN or something like that. Check out the comments on both of those. It'll seem like the majority is liberal on one side and the majority is conservative on the other side. So it looks like a majority because they all gather together. Okay, so it's mind energy attracts. Okay, and then look, here's the other example. Goda, you had a perfect example of this. Goda posts a lot of things that I say on her personal page, and thank you so much, Goda. She's the one doing all those posts at Awesome Hope Johnson on Instagram. So if you don't follow me there, that's really fun. Goda does some posts over there, and she posts gorgeous pictures too. Anyways, she's doing this post on Facebook, and she tags me in a post, and someone comes on and talks about how I'm a racist on the post. Meanwhile, Goda's post is gorgeous. I'm just mentioned down at the bottom in this little part where she says something about me. But this post is like all kind of information, awesome story and reflection and stuff like that, right? So, people are commenting on Goda's post, not so much about me, right? And so this person comes in and they're all about me, about how I'm a racist and stupid or something like that. And then they post the same meme that I posted that got banned from Facebook and got me banned from Facebook, they took a screenshot of it. So that screenshot is not banned from Facebook. They're able to take that screenshot and go to start um, uh, hating hope threads, hope hating threads. Um, one of them even told my husband he's going to make a Facebook page called No Hope just for me. I'm like, wow, that is so sweet. I That's so adorable. You guys are the best. I mean, I feel the love. I do. It doesn't matter what it looks like on the surface. Those fuckers are paying attention to me. I feel the love. I do. Oh wow, that's some good stuff. So yeah, no, and you know, no one had anything. No one had anything responsive about that. No one had anything to say about that. You know, everyone was talking about Goda's post, so it looks there like the majority doesn't even care. You know, and to someone who's viewing the world like that, to them the majority are a bunch of racists because they don't care. You know, I was imagining when my friend was emailing me, I was going, hey, is he really saying that, is he really saying that I started a bunch of people onto racism, or I made people racist? Wow, interesting. And I didn't see any of that. I don't know if that's on their threads or something like that, or what is considered racism. I'm not sure, but I definitely wasn't interested in addressing that topic and getting into any kind of line of conversation about it at all. I just am thankful for the share, and I don't really like try to get into it with people. You know, I just keep it really light and love, right? I fell for the stories in my mind as well, but then I was like, it's just Hope. She's fucking around. Yes, that's right. It's Hope. She's fucking around. She's laughing her fucking ass off about all that kind of stuff. I just like, you know what I love? They think they're going to ruin my reputation. And you know what? Just a couple of weeks ago, I was saying on Wisdom Dialogues, ruin your reputation. I was like, this is so awesome. Woo! And you know, they're setting out to ruin my reputation. I'm like, oh my God, this is like the best teaching. I'm so grateful. And at one point, one of my friends that was talking about not defending or explaining, and or I picked those things out. You know, he was saying that how you know, don't even try to you know, try to get out of this. That's it's put like, don't even try to get out of this mess or something like that. And I'm like laughing. I'm like, I am so not in a mess. I'm so enjoying the show. It is so fun. There's no mess. It's nothing. It's so nothing. And you know, I love to demonstrate that. I love to feel whatever it is that's being projected. And you know, I know why I get the experience too, as far as it's for teaching and learning, not only for the person I'm communicating with. You know, all these very vile, disgusting things can be said about me. And you know, at one point he said, I'm not angry. And it occurred to me, wow, if you believe the shit you're saying about me, I would be really fucking angry at me right now. Man, like if that stuff was true, you would be so justified for being angry. You know, the only way you can truly not be angry is to not believe in that stuff. You know, you could say you're not angry, but if you see someone so vile like that, that they're deserving of punishment and condemnation, that is anger. That actually is anger. That's why I love it, you guys. I learned so much through it. It's like it strengthens me so much. Anyone want to say pissed off things to me, please do. Please do. I'm the best person you could say it to. I am. All right. It felt disheartening. Yes, that was so cute. The ego gets disheartened. Isn't that cute, Goda? Oh, I'm so disheartened at my Oh, my dear, precious friend who's just a beam of light. Look at her getting, that's the ego. Isn't it so cute? Yes, Hope's fucking around. That's right. That's right. It was also funny to see how I apparently lost a lot of friends due to that post. Yay! I love losing friends like that. Oh my gosh. Look at the friends that come in. It's just a flow. No one's lost. Everyone will meet again. Everyone will meet again. We're all going the same way. Let all those fluctuations go. Everyone's held like this. Everyone's held like this. You guys aren't stable. Oh, you're on Facebook with me? What do you think? That's forever? What the fuck? That could change at any time. It's social media. Social fucking media. Look, if you live with me, that could change at any time. If you're social media, it's the same. Ah, oh, good stuff. Ah, it's so fun. It was claiming you were a racist. Yes. Amen. I am. I am the biggest racist you ever saw. Like one of my friends, David Phillipson, said, I have been advocated for the human race for decades. I am a huge racist. They say only racists can say nigger, so I am a racist. I admit I support the human race. I support the human race in awakening from being controlled by the ego. Okay? That makes me a racist? Good. I'm also at the bottom of the feed. Yes, bottom of the feed. Find me at the bottom, at the bottom of the feed. Did you you like that? It's my advertisement. Freya Goda. Why are you Freya on here? Did you change your name again? Confusing the fuck out of me. Sativa, Goda, Freya. I'm just kidding. It's perfect for me. I love it. Oh, it was your trail name. You get a special trail name. That's fun. Oh, the Oregon Trail. Yes, nice. Thank you. Oh, I love it. Love thy enemies, for they will tell you your faults. I love it. Yes, absolutely. And you know what's wonderful is they tell you in a way that they don't even understand they're telling you. Like if they think they're enemies with you, if they think they're pissed at you, they're telling you in a way that's complete nonsense, like on the surface, like all the stuff that's being said, it has absolutely no merit. It's complete nonsense. It makes no sense. For one, it's based on the idea that we're different if we have different skin colors. That is the fucking most ridiculous idea I've ever fucking heard. Okay, that's why I make fun of that stuff. Yeah, you're different because you have a different skin color. That's ridiculous. There's one of us here. There's only one of us. And we only have one goal. We share the same interest. Okay? People can give me all kinds of arguments about it. I'm not going to argue with people. That's silly. I'm not interested in that. If people want to be materialistic about it, focus on what they think their eyes see. Color is nothing. It's meaningless. History is meaningless. History is meaningless. There it is again. History is conditioned. History is conditioned so that people will be afraid of people. And when people are afraid of people, the ego rules. And when the ego rules, you get an establishment that is tyrannical. Hooray! We see the formula. We see the way out. Yes. It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. It may seem small right now. It may seem small, and who knows? It may progress in giant leaps. oh my goodness, it may progress so quickly just because of the allowing. Look at, I'll tell you what, when there's these triggering moments, and I'm not saying to go out and try to trigger people. That is not what I try to do. I'm just open for it, and I have a good personality for it, the way I've been wired, let's say. Because when people react to me, I feel grounded. I feel grounded when people react to me. I know when people are reacting, that's the time for me to hold the space for the reacting and not think about anything else. Just hold the space for the reacting. Let the responses come from an inspired and loving place, and let every chip fall where it may. Doesn't matter to me if they change their mind. Although my friend last night, he did calm down. He definitely calmed down. He was still holding something for me, but a lot of it got diffused. And he may have even gone to sleep. I think it was maybe like 2 a.m. for him when we were having a conversation. So he may have been even calmed down enough to be able to get some sleep. And we did have a little sweetness, and he even wished me well. So that was really sweet. Just don't defend, like be defenseless. At one point I said, I said, thank you. You just reminded me of one of my favorite teachings, that there's never anything to explain or defend, and just thanking and acknowledging. Thank you. You just really reminded me of that. Thank you for helping me see. And in almost every single, in every single reply, there was a gratitude statement, because that's what I was feeling. So it couldn't be helped, couldn't be helped. It's not like it's contrived by the ego, like how am I going to get him to, or something like that. No, it's feeling, because this is a feeling journey, and when someone's reacting to you, you can feel it. And so you sense the sense and you relax through it. You allow your sight to be strengthened, because it looks like the person on the surface, it looks like the person is angry and, saying, definitely acting angry, saying that they're not angry, definitely saying that they're disappointed, and and also like all kinds of racist kind of things, like against being white, against a white person, kind of stuffs. Kind of like you have to prove yourself if you're a white person. It just turns into comedy for me. If I just start talking about it, it just turns into so much comedy. I can't even read it without laughing, because it's just based on so much stupidity, So it's like, and then I'm not trying to force anyone to come out of their prison, I'm not force anyone to use the key that they have in their pocket, so to speak, to just like get out of prison. But I'm being used to encourage them. And as long as they want to engage me, they can. I let them know, hey, if I unfriend you on Facebook, and you still have stuff you want to get off your chest, message it to me. I'm happy to receive that. Ah, yeah. Oh, Brahma, a human racist. Yes, I am. I love hanging out with you here. Oh, Maria, thank you. You funny, you talk a lot. Oh yeah, you got me right. I'm funny and I talk a lot. That might be something we can agree on. No, maybe not. They say I'm not funny, those ones that say I'm a racist, in a mean way. Some people say I'm a racist in a nice way. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's like, why not? have your friends, like the ones you hang out with. That, why wouldn't it be that the ones you hang out with and you live with and stuff like that, why wouldn't it be that they don't see you as a gift in their life? You know, like for me, ever since I was a youngin, it's like people see me, when people see me as a gift in their lives, I'm attracted to them. I don't give a fuck about anything else about them. Okay. I'm attracted to them. If they see me as a gift in their life, I'm attracted to them. That's just how it goes. If they come around me and they want to hang out with me and they want to uh, do stuff or whatever, that I'm attracted to them. Why is it there? Here's a question. Why is it that people are attracted to people who want to use them to hurt themselves? And that's basically what it is. You know, there's a there's a sense like we can maybe change a person. I don't know, because I'm not real familiar with that kind of thought pattern, like as myself, because I haven't been like, okay, well, they're not treating me real well right now, but maybe they'll change. I'm just kind of like, oh, that's what you're showing. Okay, well, I'm going this way then. That's not for me. You know, it's kind of like just taking it at face value and going, oh, is that for me or not? Like what am I worthy of? You know, and you just hang with it. You just hang with the feeling, and as you're feeling those feelings, you just acknowledge what you're worthy of. You don't settle. See, one way that we get over our feelings, it's kind of like you got this intense feeling and you want to get over it. You want to get over it. You settle for something to get over it, and that represses the feeling. It's coming back again. Being open to a newness. Okay. It's like even a friend flow, people flow. There's like coming and going, coming and going, coming and going. We don't have to hold on. We don't have to try to hold on. It's just a flow. So we allow everything to flow, and in acknowledging, okay, what, you know what, that's not really for me. You know, that's not really for me. But there's this sense like, what if I don't get what I need though? Do I need to hold on to this person? Do I need more people on my social media? Do I need to keep them around so I don't piss them off and then they start a page about me? No, I want to do that. That sounds fun, actually. If people are going to start a page about me, that is some good stuff. I'll probably never go there, but it's just interesting. It's just a funny thing. What a ridiculous funny story about this broad named Hope Johnson that says nigger on social media. It's really hilarious. I'm not white, I'm beige. Yeah, you know, that's another thing too. I have a sister who's albino. Okay, so you know, you would think if someone was going to be white, that would be her, right? She would be really white. She's not even the color white. Just to put people in categories like white and black like that. I mean, geez, I think that was probably like the beginning of this thing where we go, okay, let's put these in categories over here. It's like we're just all these different shades, and that's only on the appearance. It means nothing. None of it means anything. The culture, meaningless. Okay, that's meaningless. But what about the culture? Meaningless. You can keep the culture. It's fine. It doesn't need defending. The culture doesn't need to be defending. The culture is fine. And if you're not defending it, a lot of people are going to have a lot more fun with it. That's the other thing. You don't have to, you have nothing to defend. Look at, you just have nothing to defend. Look at, here's my awesome ass culture. This is what we do in my culture. Look at how awesome it is. People like it. People are going to be enjoying that culture. I could see this. I could see all these different cultures expressing themselves, kind of like tapestry. And you could just go around all these different cultures, and it's nice and friendly. And it's not comparison between cultures. It's just nice and friendly, because there's no difference between cultures, really. It's only for fun. In reality, we're all the same. We're all the same one. So the cultures and all that stuff, it's for play. It's not for division. The colors, they're for play. Look, we can line us up and we can make it from lightest to darkest. Woo, fun, play. Of course we notice the colors. Of course we notice them. Of course we notice the cultures. And you know what? It's fun to play with. I love playing with cultures. I love stereotypes. I like making fun. You know, since I was a kid, I always like to hang out with people who like to have fun. We like to make fun of ourselves and other people in a loving and joyous and non-division kind way. Or we just love it about ourselves. We love our differences, our apparent differences, because we're all the same. So our differences don't make me a threat. They don't make you a threat. They don't make anyone a threat. They're just differences to play with. They're for creative play. Oh, aloha, Cynthia. It's lovely to have you join. Thank you so much. And it's like, man, you're not white, you're not black, you're not any beige, you're not any of these colors. We're just all one. You're not male or female either. That's the other thing. That's another thing that's like ridiculous. You're not male or female. In that, you can express whatever you like. You can express feminine qualities, masculine qualities, part feminine, part masculine qualities. You're not male or female. Who cares? Today I'm a man, tomorrow I'm a woman, whatever. We're all expressing both male and female qualities. We're all doing that. You know, it's just some of us come out with one set of genitals and some of us come out with the other set of genitals. But that doesn't make us more that thing or less that thing necessarily. They're just genitals. So, you know what's funny about that sports thing? You know what you got to do? Here's what they do. Here's what they did at Women of the Womb. Okay. Instead of, like, if you're doing it for sports, like competition, people would say, well, what about competition, right? Well, if you're doing it for competition, then you do it like this. To be on the womb man team, you must have a womb and or have had a womb in this incarnation. Like, if you're looking like a dude right now and you used to have a womb, then you're on the womb man team. You guys, I just came up with this right now. Actually, I didn't come up with it. It just like popped out. I didn't do shit. So yeah, there's the wombed man. We're all men, right? We're all men starting out. Look, that's why they call them women and men. Basically, you start out basic. We're all men. Okay. There's the wombed men, and then there's the plain ass men. So you got the wombed men team and the plain ass men team. You can name that different if you want, if the plain ass men are going to be offended. It's not to say that the wombed men are better than the plain ass men. They just are like different abilities as far as genetics and hormones and bullshit like that, right? So it's just really simple. They can hire me anytime to figure this shit out. Like, really, it's kind of like a no-brainer. Then you don't have this big, what's this guy, like a 6 foot something swimmer who decided he was a chick now, and he's walking around the locker room with a huge ass dick and balls around all the chicks because he decided he wants to identify as a woman and be on the swim team. Isn't that the best? So I love that. I love how it just shows the silliness of these differences that we made up. So if you just see this then this difference is more like benign. It's kind of like, you know, yeah, these guys have wombs over here and these dudes over here don't have wombs. So therefore they compete at different in different what's it called? Levels. I don't know. They compete at different levels in sports. Like, simple. like one smaller and, basic stuff. But the tendency is to just make a bunch of drama. Oh, I think that they should be allowed to LGBTQ all the way, mofos like that. And then on the other side, it's like, no, I don't accept him as a woman, and it's like, who gives a shit about any of that stuff? Who gives a shit about it? You see the sides. Look, you know what? Here's another thing. You guys, when you open up to your feelings and like embracing everything, you start to see all the patterns. You just see how these patterns are playing out. Like here's the sides to the pattern. And like, here's the solution. Here's what the solution is. The solution will be seen when people want us to see a different solution. Basically, here's how it goes. Like in the Bible, it says, when two are gathered in my name, there am I in the midst of them. That's Jesus talking like that. Okay. And when two or more are gathered in my name, there am I in the midst of them. Here's the kind of thing that goes on where it turns people's minds in a different direction. So say people are all embroiled in this racism thing or the sex thing or whatever it is, people are all embroiled in. They're embroiled in all this conflict. And then maybe they're pissed at each other and they're at odds with each other, but they really know that they love each other. Maybe they're mother and daughter or husband and wife or something like that. And they look at each other and they're like, there's got to be a better way for us to get along. When people meet like that, there's a certain kind of surge of energy that takes place and it turns their relationship around. It turns their relationship into like a healing purpose. That's what I see. That could happen in a business situation where maybe you're at work and there seem to be these sides and people are just like, hey, look, agree with me. And then people make eye contact and they exchange this kind of energy like, hey, there's got to be a better way for us to relate with each other. Their relationship together turns the whole thing around. Like whether or not they stay in the same company or anything like that, but like you can have that with so many of your relationships. Now, not everyone's ready for that. Not everyone's ready to do that with you. They're not ready to see it like that. Okay. But there are also a lot of people who are ready. So just in looking in that way, whenever you find yourself in any kind of conflict, thinking in terms of, oh, I wonder, even I hope there's a better way. And I just don't know about it yet. I'm just not aware of it yet. Because even setting your mind in that direction helps it open up like that and become what's called by the A Course in Miracles, a holy relationship. Isn't that beautiful? And also being comfortable with having kind of like a relationship where you're just holding the space for it to evolve to a holy relationship. There's no willingness. You don't perceive any willingness in the other for a holy relationship. So notice that whatever willingness you think is missing in them, that's also for you to heal within yourself. It's not saying that you have to evaluate yourself or anything like that. None of that stuff is ever useful for you. That's all ego stuff. When I'm saying that it's for you, all it is you take a step back from projecting, because the projecting is automatic. Just take a step back from projecting so that you keep on reminding yourself that this is all for you to see through. Everyone you meet that you seem to be in conflict with, you will meet them again, and sooner rather than later, the more you're looking at it from the perspective of the Holy Spirit, which you could say is your guide and connection to what the truth is about you and what the truth is about everyone. And that's the thing. That's why it seems funny to me when someone thinks they're pissed at me, because I know the truth. Someone, I don't remember who it was, but I would definitely give credit if I remembered. someone told me, one of my friends, and it was recent, told me that they had a vision of the two higher selves when they were in conflict. They seem to be in conflict with someone. Their two higher selves meeting and kind of like conspiring for how they would be projecting this scene for the maximal awakening of everyone in the conflict. And when you see it like that, you feel it. And when you feel it like that, you allow it. And I just feel so much love and connection with everyone who has commented on my post, started pages about me, started groups, whatever they need to do to get all that stuff to come to the surface. Whether it's about me or not is not really relevant. I don't feel like I need to go out over there and read it, but I'm glad that this stuff is brought to the surface, because the more it's played out and seen, this Facebook stuff is great. I see it as being an accelerator, because look, if all this really vile, disgusting kind of condemnation stuff is posted enough and seen enough, people get tired of it faster. They grow wary of it. They see that it doesn't solve anything. They see that it doesn't go anywhere. They see that it only hurts themselves. So, and I'm the best person anyone can do that with, because, and you notice I said with and not to. No one's doing anything to me. So we're playing a game. We're so playing a game, and I'm in the game. It's fun. I'm in it for the fun. So, it's like the people that I'm doing this with, I feel such a loving connection with them. No matter what it looks like on the surface, I am in a deep communication and communion with them. And it's healing to us both and to everyone. Because I let it be that way. That's all it is. The only reason it makes any difference, why I say I'm the best person they could do it to, that I've seen, that I've actually seen in my apparent lifetime. I'm going to take that energy and I'm going to use it for releasing the whole world. I'm happy to. That's for me. Obviously, it's entertaining, it's fun, it's joyful, it's connecting, it's awakening. That's me. I'll take it. And yeah, feel free. Feel free. I love to see my inbox. It makes me just as happy to see someone who's coming on accusing me of being a racist as it does for you guys to come on and act like you got a problem and you need some help with it, because that's really fun for me too. No, it is. And I encourage you to send me your emails about the problems you think you have. So I can help you kind of like look in that direction with you, and it helps me too. So yeah, feel free to email me about anything. I love your messages. So you guys, this is a really simple way just to tune your mind into none of this is real. Because I know a lot of you are like, how do I get to that point? How do I get to that place where you just like, no, none of this is real? Well, it kind of bounces back and forth for me. I'll know I'm getting caught up in something is real when I am perceiving an upset feeling arising within me. And I'm happy about that too. Because whenever I get the perception of something is real, I'm bringing back gifts. And, when I got the perception that something was real, when I posted that Facebook meme, I got the perception that something was real a bunch of times over and over again. And I love it. Yeah, I just get the perception for a second. I get an upset feeling. It's like, oh yeah. And it's back to the world is the world is gripping. It's like this, these energies, you know, you're like, it's like you're engaging these energies. It's all your energies, but in the play, it's a play of energies. Okay. So it's like, it's like your structure of thought, basically with what you made with the ego out to be yourself, your structure of thought has a certain energetic frequency. Okay. And then all the other structures of thought that you made, they have unique energetic frequencies. And that includes all the people, things, everything that you perceive. It has a unique energetic frequency, which you gave it, which you also gave to your sense of self. And I motion toward the body, but there is no body. The body is representative. It's a projection of that sense of self. But the whole entire world that you perceive is also an extension of that, because that is the body's world. It's made for the body. It's in relation to the body. Okay. And so there's none of that. There's no world and there's no body. But in the projection, this is what it is. It's a body in relation with the world. Okay. This is relating. Okay. But in reality, it's a mind relating with its own projections. Okay. That's what's happening. It's actually a mind relating with its own projections. But in the experience, it appears as if it's a body relating with things in the world. See, it's like when I touch the table, it seems like this body is in contact with this table. But what's occurring is a mind is in communication with its thought form, a thought form that it projected. Okay, that's all it is. And it's in relation with both of these thought forms, this thought form that seems to be represented by a body, and then this thought form that seems to be represented by a table, as a table. Okay, so it seems to be, but that's not what it is. It's always a mind in relation with its thought forms, the thought forms that it projected. So my mind projected people to call me a racist. Isn't that wonderful? It's like, oh, thank you. This is exactly what I need. See, when you know what it is, you're not in resistance to it. My mind projected that. But it's, and you break it down a little bit more. My mind projected this energy represented by a thought form that takes on a man who identifies as Black, but he's kind of light to me, although he does have the Negro hair, if you want to call it that. Doesn't fucking matter. So my mind projects this image to be something to this image. Both images are projected. It's projecting two images. The image that seems to be myself, the image that seems to be another person, and that person seems to be they don't seem threatening to me, but they might seem threatening to someone. They're definitely saying things that might seem threatening to people who take threats to be real, and it seems like they're trying to be threatening. But there's this sense that it's meant to make this sense that this structure of thought that I identify as myself, I'm supposed to be anyways identifying this structure as myself, is being threatened by this other structure. But what I know is that both of these structures are projected by me. I'm projecting both structures. I'm projecting the structure of myself. I'm projecting the structure of this person who seems to want to be threatening toward me. I love that. That's for play. That is a game. That is the game. That's for play. I'm the one who can play the game because I know it's a game. As I know I'm not the structure. Okay, I don't know. I know I'm not the structure. I'm not this thing that does any action. I know I'm not this thing that seems to be a body. I know I'm not this thing. So when we interact together, I know what it is. I'm projecting both of us, and I'm doing it for awakening my mind. I'm doing it for myself to awaken my mind. That's how I take the whole freaking thing. That's how it is to me. That's how I use it. And the way I use it is I watch the feelings and I allow myself to have relief within the feelings. That's the same relief I want for my friends. Now, at one point, I communicated to my friend because he said he was going to bed. And I said, may you have a peaceful rest. And he said, I hope you really mean that. And you're not being condescending, you know? And it's funny because on messages, it's like you can be looking at it at a certain way, but it's like on my end, I can only feel this sense of compassion because I'm allowing so much relief for myself. I'm allowing it for him too. In fact, it's the other way around. I'm allowing it for him. So he's really strengthening my sight because by showing up like that, for showing up for me like that, he's allowing me to see these gripping things that make it as if this person is a threat. And all through that, I'm allowing myself to have relief. And in that, he's released. He's released from my judgment about him. Because whenever anyone attacks you, what's the first thing that happens? You want to project some kind of judgment about them. And watch what happens with the judgment. You start wishing for bad things to happen to them, harm to come to them, things like that. So that's how these kinds of things, and that's what the ego is looking for. These are hooks. They're meant to be hooks for me, saying these things like, you're no guru, you should be hiding your head in shame and stuff like that. Things that's just meant to be hooks for me. And, just this sense of, oh, thank you. And a real sense of thank you because I could feel it. And I know what it's meant to do too. And I know it's meant to be that. So I know it's meant for awakening our shared mind. So I'm just so grateful for everyone who takes the time to reach out to me for any way. Brahma, you said you're a legend. What did you do? Or what do you think you did to become a legend? And why do you have mad faces on there? That's another thing. It just looks so playful and colorful too when they put a bunch of mad faces on the email. It's so sweet. It's like, this is how mad I am. And I could feel that. It's like, God, how could you do that? God, I could feel that. And it's like, yeah, I know. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. I know. And it's like, I know it comes from belief. And I know that everyone can be relieved from it. That's one thing I share with them. You can have relief from that right now. You don't have to hold on to that. If you make it about me, you do have to hold on to it. It doesn't do anything to me, but you got to hold on to it. I'm just bringing it up. I'm helping you bring it up. It's kind of like I'm going, hey, bro, cough that up right now. It's bothering you. I'm just bringing it up and I can't help that. But, I definitely do my best to be gentle with you, no matter how it looks on the surface. I know that you are only capable of being loving to me, and it can only be love no matter how I perceive it. So I just ask to keep seeing through that, and I'm giving that sight. Sometimes the world doesn't respect you. That is fucking awesome. I love that. All those things are patterned. The feeling of disrespect. One of my friends posted something like, hey, when I'm happy about something and I'm happy about something going on, can't you just like, she wasn't saying this to me, but she was saying it to a group of people, like people in general, basically. Can't you just be happy for me instead of put your whole trip on me and stuff like that? And I said, no, they can't. because you're making them like that. And you can tell you're making them like that because you want them to be different. And you don't want to know you're making them like that. Let's put it this way. When you think you want them to be different, you don't want to be aware that you're making them up. You don't want to heal that pattern. You'd rather make them out to be the problem, your problem. Gosh, can't people just respect me when I say something? See, there's nothing but you reacting to thought forms. And that's not even you, even the one reacting, that is not even you. Those feelings are also meaningless. Those feelings are for the programmed self-image that you made to react to the world. You do not react to a world. You're not something that could react to a world. That's why you made an image of yourself, an avatar, to react to things that aren't real, an unreal avatar to react to things that aren't real. So when you get a load of that, you see all that thing is reacting to things that aren't real. You can have all the compassion for all the people, including yourself, that seem to be playing out these patterns. One of my friends and one who's a mutual friends with some of the people who are pissed at me, she said, "Hey, I'm really sorry about that." And I said, "You know what? I am having a lot of fun with that. There is nothing to be sorry about." And knowing that friend, I'm sure she knew that I was having fun with it. She probably just can't imagine, because that particular friend also told me she does not like to make any waves, and that's the thing. You're not going to be pushed to do something. If you're listening to your spirit, you're not going to be pushed to do something that you can't handle, for instance. You're not all of a sudden just going to be so bold and you're not going to be inspired by your spirit to do something that's going to be tempting your ego, so to speak. It's like you'll see little inspirations. It kind of feels like it's almost like a leap of faith. It feels like you're taking a leap of faith, because like logically you're going, wow, you really shouldn't do that, or you really shouldn't say that if you were to take the time and think about it, right? But you got the inspiration, and it's kind of like a leap of faith. This is a different thing than being driven by the ego, because the only goal in this is connection. The only goal in this is connection. The ego's goal is separation, and you can sense that. And it's connection as far as also connection to your spirit, speaking what's really true, speaking what's really true in that moment for you. See? And like I say all the time, you don't have a choice in what you say. You will be guided to speak either by the ego or by the spirit in the moment at hand. So, the lesson is, and why I'm always tuning you back to how it feels, is that when you are aware of how it feels, your lessons are coming from the spirit. There's just no doubt about it. Doesn't matter what it looks like. It's coming from the spirit, and that it is going to bring back a lot of gifts, and you're also going to have a lot of fun with it. You're just positive of that. You just know you're going to have, and whenever I find myself going in certain directions in thought, as far as, oh my goodness, like when I'm baking and the idea for the nigger post comes up, right? And I'm sitting there baking, I'm like kneading something or something like that. Or maybe I'm forming my bagels. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm taking the dough and I'm forming it into bagels at the time. And I just feel myself get so excited and inspired. And then I just go back to doing the bagels, and I forget all about it. And then the bagels go in the oven, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's back. And it's like, okay, I'm paying attention. And then it's like, yep. All right, go. And it's different when you're driven by the ego. It's like you're looking for division. You're looking for a certain thing. And it was fun, the screenshot. It was so fun. It was the funniest thing, because the first one to come on was someone who
I guess it doesn't really matter anymore, but he seemed to have dark skin, right? It seems to really matter to the ones that want you to be a bad person if you have white skin. Like if you're white skin and you say nigger, then you're bad. But he comes on, he's the first one, and he goes, oh my God, I'm so offended. I think I need a lobotomy. And then he laughs at his own post, right? And then after that, someone says something like, he kind of like cuts me down, tells me his judgment of me, some kind of psychobabble, whatever. But why did you do that? And I said, because I'm trying to find out who my niggers are. And that's the part where they totally got it screenshot. It's like the funniest freaking thing. I'll show it to you after, Ann. You'll laugh your ass off. It's like the funniest freaking thing. And it's like they're using it as if it's a bad thing, but it's like a total comedy. It's like you look at it and you're like, oh my goodness, that is funny. Like who's not looking at that and laughing, right? Conditioning. Anything that's not funny, it's conditioning. Anything that doesn't seem funny, it's conditioning. But this is some good comedy. It's like the way comedy used to be before it became politically correct. That's really good stuff. Bagels are inherently holy. Yes, I get it. Thank you, Natalie. You like how the story just like manifests as I'm talking about it? I don't even fucking know. It's just like, oh yeah, that's it. It's bagels. Because I expect too much. So Brahma's saying that sometimes when the world doesn't respect me, and then he's saying, because I expect too much. That's never the truth. You're not capable of having expectations either. You really aren't capable of having expectations. All those expectations are ego expectations. So any expectation that you have, you can just hold that really lightly, just like friends, just like I was talking about with friends, lovers, parents, even kids. I'm not saying, leave your kids or something like that, but that may be the case too. I mean, I'm not going to judge anything like that, but I'm saying like when you're open hand like that, and you're just allowing people to be as they are, it's like people can come and go as they please. They're not expected to do anything or expected to be anything because of what it's for, because of what that relating is for. It's like when you see it that way, you just get it. You notice that, okay, here we go again. This is a structure of thought that I made to be my avatar that I projected. And then here's this kid structure of thought that I made to be an avatar of my kid that I made into a structure of thought. And I made it as if it actually popped out of my body, which is also a structure of thought that I projected. Okay. Nothing even happened. I don't have a body. No one even came out of it. Now they're interacting. And this one is saying something like, fuck you, I'm going to pierce my ears. I don't know what it is for you, whatever it is. Fuck you, I'm going to wear a short skirt or whatever. And this one's like, wait a minute, how does that affect me? It's all about the self-image now. It all becomes about the self-image that I projected. This one that I projected that thinks it's myself is now going, wait a minute, I don't want that to happen because it ruins my self-image and my expectations that I have. Only they're not saying it like that. They're saying, no, you shouldn't do that because this, and this. Just allow the person to be as they are. If you know what's up, you will just allow that. That's why it's just a practice. I'm saying, hey, if you want that, here's the practice. When that teenager or young kid or whatever is saying, Mom, I want to do this. And you're going, no, you can't do that. And you're going, I want to do that though. No, you can't do that. Kind of like see if you can get a breath in there and let people do whatever the fuck they want. Let's just see for a second, even for a second, you can go right back to being all controlling again, but just notice how that feels. Just notice it. You don't have, it's just like, and this is a willingness that even allows you to notice this. You don't have a choice in this. You just have to be willing for it. It's be willing to see that there's a better way. Okay. You're just impersonating funny people. Yes. In Mexico, they call gay people bagels. That's a good one. What is the deal with, I guess homosexual is kind of a gay word. But it's, homo is kind of not a word that sounds like really, but these other words like bagels and gay, those are already words. Like maybe they could have a word that's just for homo, but it's not homo. Because homo does sound kind of funny. I mean, maybe they don't want to be homo. Maybe it means something different. Who knows? Maybe come up with a different kind of whatever. Even just a word that you make up. I don't know. It's all just fun. And confusing, because you might, really want a bagel and someone thinks you want a gay dude. I mean, a little confusing. Yeah, all that stuff is for making fun of. And I totally I advocate that we keep making fun of all the different things, all the different ways that we are in a way that feels good. And, if it feels good, if you're trying to put a person down, you can feel it. Come on. If you're on Wisdom Dialogues, you can at least know that. You can at least know if you're trying to put a person down by using certain words. And basically, who gives a fuck what word it is? Just that you're trying to put someone down in the first place. How is that benefiting you? How is that helping you in your romantic situation, your finances, in anything that even has to be on the surface, for one thing? And how is it helping you awaken too, which is the most important thing? So I wouldn't focus so much on the words, but how you feel. Because I mean, for me, I know when I'm coming from ego, I just cannot do it. That is disgusting to me. I can't do it. I'm like, no, that's funny. Actually, it's not, no. Get into some kind of game where I'm thinking someone's threatening me, or I'm wishing bad things for people to happen to people. And you know what? Here's the thing, you guys. This wishing for bad things to happen to you or to people, it's automatic. It just pops up. It's like world thoughts, okay? So don't be afraid to look on it. It's not personal. When someone triggers you, automatically that's played out. Don't be afraid to look on it. Looking on it allows you to look past it, not ignoring it. Okay, looking on it does. And the only reason you would not look on it is because you don't want to know you're thinking stuff like that. But here's the thing: if you don't look on it, there's all these thoughts that you don't even know you're thinking, and they're just like get automatically believed by you. Okay. You're doing it, but from the perception, you don't even know you're thinking it because you're lost in thoughts most of the time. Now here's a way to get out of thinking so much. Simple practice. All throughout the day, just pay attention to how something feels on or in the body's energy field. Okay. So one part that's on the body's energy field is anywhere on the surface, the skin. Notice how it feels. Someone asked me one time, I took some sassafras, right? And they asked me, I bet this feels really good right now. And I'm like, yeah, but it always feels really good. You know why? Because awareness feels good. So just to touch myself like that, it's like, it just really feels good. So just to even anywhere on the skin, how your clothes feel on your skin, how your hair feels draping down, how your butt feels on the seat. In this case, how my heel feels going into my perineum, because that's how I sit. A breeze, noticing a breeze as far as in the body's energy field, any kind of movement, any kind of fluctuations, any kind of, and so it's all in the body's energy field. The body's energy field is huge. It's like expands. It looks like there's boundaries here, but these, what looks like boundaries is where you're getting a sensory perception. That's why, like, when you stimulate that apparent boundary, it stimulates something in your mind, and you can get pleasure out of that. And you know, and joy is pleasure. So the more joy there is, the more pleasurable it is to sense a body. No one's really in a body, and that's why I didn't say to be in a body, because no one's in a body. I'm saying sense a body. You're getting a body sense. Okay. So the more you tune into that in the midst of thought, just catch yourself in thought. Don't make it a problem. Turn your attention to any of those sensory sensation, any sensation, you know. You can even use the eyes if you want to stare at something. You can use something for that. You know, you can go looking at a ring maybe that you have on your finger. And all these things that I'm giving you, I know you don't have a choice in whether you do them or not. I'm just speaking to consciousness here. So you're just going to hold all this really lightly and let it play out. Watch it play out in your experience. Okay. All it takes is you being willing in the midst of an upset feeling to be a little bit willing to be aware of a sensation. Any sensation will do. Okay. The more you practice being aware of sensation, the more you're going to be able to hear your spirit, and the more you're going to be able to communicate and demonstrate that only love is possible, because only love is real. And the reason you're able to communicate that is because you're receiving that right now. You're allowing yourself to receive it right now, and it feels really good. And that good feeling is symbolic of the healing extension that's being made through you to all of the world. It's the release of the whole world. And yeah, you guys, it is so exciting to know that we are releasing the whole world. We're just releasing it from our sight. The whole world we made up so that we can reveal what's really here. What the world we made up seems to have things like sickness and death and stuff like that. This stuff is not even possible. Conflict, not even possible. Pain, not possible. We're dreaming. And all of these ways that I'm talking about tuning in so that you can be an active participant in your awakening. Yeah. And that's going to occur automatically. You are listening to this right now because you're interested in it. That's enough. The little bit of willingness really is a little bit of willingness, meaning there's nothing to do. There's really nothing to do. And you're used to exerting effort to get what you want. So in this case, since you're used to using effort to get what you want, and you know that what you really want is awakening from this dream, use your effort, your best effort, to remind yourself to let go. Relax. That's all. Use your best effort to remind yourself to be present. It's all the same. Don't take the words to any extreme. To be aware. This is all the same thing. I'm just using different words to say the same kind of movement. This is a movement in the observation. To just be aware. Okay. Right now I'm in a pattern thought. Okay. Good. The awareness. That's it. Is keep your eye on the ball. That's where the effort goes to. It's all to awareness. What is playing out here? Willingness to remember. It's just a real simple movement. It's just a real simple choice that you make. And so all of your effort only needs to go toward allowing yourself to relax a little bit more. Because that relaxation is the presence. It is the awareness. All that you could be doing to prevent yourself from relaxation is holding on to thoughts that are against yourself. Okay, so when you see that, you're letting all of them go. You're not going to keep on doing that to yourself when you know what it is and how you're making that pain. One thing I'm really appreciating is the contradictions, all the different contradictions that we see, or we think we see in the, sense of the world. It's like there's this way of getting acceptance. A lot of the thing about wearing the mask for a lot of people, I'm not saying this is for everyone, is getting acceptance. Okay. Okay. I'm going to put it on for as much as will get me to be accepted by the people, or saying certain words or using certain terms. Watch how the ego is looking to get acceptance, but actually is so afraid of non-acceptance, it can't even enjoy acceptance. That's the contradiction. It's always trying to get acceptance. It's never getting it. Even if the ego gets the acceptance it thinks it was looking for in a person, that stuff feels very fragile. They can just withdraw at any time. The ego is never going to feel valuable enough. It's always contradicting itself too. My friend laid it out so clearly when he told me I'll never be able to explain myself out of it. And then I'm a total schmuck for not trying to explain myself. That's the ego. It's not easy to see when you're in it, when you really believe that what you think is true, but it's constantly contradicting itself. And the outcome is misery. It's like, you should do this. No, you should do this. You should do this. You should do this. I noticed that sense of seeking acceptance one time when I was standing outside front of a grocery store, and I had a young son, and my young son wanted to do something. He wanted to go in the car in a way that other people thought was dangerous. And there were a bunch of people there, and he was throwing a fit. And I felt this sense like, what should I do? Like indecision, like what should I do to get the most acceptance? And I saw it right away, and I'm like, what in the world? And I just like, relaxed that energy and just let it play out how it did. But I just relaxed the energy right there. That was many years ago. My son was small. I was like, whoa. It's like this energy just hit me. It was really actually an unfamiliar vibe to me, to feel like, what should I do? Because people are watching me. And I got that feeling like, what should I do? What should I do right now that would be acceptable? What should I do with my son? How should I behave with my son right now that would be acceptable? And man, I know what you guys go through. If you're going through feelings like that, that's hardcore. If you're going through a feeling like that, you just be aware that you're going through a feeling like that. And you might notice it at first. You start noticing it after the fact. Oh my God, that was one of those reactions. That's where I was trying to get acceptance from people. I was indecisive about what to do, because I wanted to know what would be the most acceptable thing to do. Kind of like when someone goes, hey, you want a beer? And you look around and you go, yeah, you want to, see if that'll be acceptable. Hey, you want a steak? And it's like, I have two choices, steak and whatever. And you look around to see if anyone's that you would care if they judge you before you make your selection. all of that stuff is fear, actually fear of non-acceptance, and it leads to more fear of non-acceptance. Even if you temporarily get the acceptance, and man, it's so hard for people when they don't have the acceptance. That's why people think they're doing something to me when they give me their non-acceptance. What is the word for that? What is the non-acceptance? It's like who cares? Anyways, you guys know what I'm talking about. It's like they're giving me something, they're handing me something, they're giving me like this stinky ass gift. But the thing is, that stinky ass gift, it can't be shared. And I know it can't be shared. So I just don't play a game about it and pretending like it can be shared. What most people do is pretend like they did just share a stinky ass gift, and then they want to give it back to them. I just leave them there with their arm extended, like, no, thank you. I have no use for that. I have no use for that gift, right? So then the gift is sitting there with their arm extended, and it's kind of like, wow, you got to get some awareness from that. There's going to be some awakening from that. You may not notice it right away, but if you're left there with the gift extended and they didn't accept the gift, they didn't try to give you the gift back either. You got that. It's a different, it gives you a different perspective. Because what the ego is expecting from an exchange that starts out like that, like, you fucking bitch, you big piece of shit, you white racist piece of whatever, all that kind of stuff. What the ego wants from that is for you to receive that gift and be pissed about it and project it back. Try to give it back and try to share shit with each other, which you can't do. You can't even share them. It's just two people projecting. You can't even share that. So I just am not interested in any of that shit that they're talking about right there. I just look for the gift that's in myself and how I can appreciate the experience. And I'm always shown how I can appreciate the experience. I learned so much and see so much more clearly the innocence. It seems like this person is completely off their fucking rocker. Like, none of this stuff they're saying makes any fucking sense to me. It seems like they're completely saying insane shit. Yet, I know that they're not even there like that. I know my mind is projecting all the shit they're saying. And that's why I know it's a game, and I'm in the game. And I'm going to win, and we're all going to win. Basically, it's a game with the ego. But the only way to win with the ego is to not be identifying with it. And yes, someone asked me before, why do you say the ego? Because there's one ego too. It's not his ego against my ego, but that's what the ego would like it to be. He said stuff about my ego in there. I don't entangle with that. Once they start talking about my ego, then they think it's their ego against my ego. I'm not interested. I don't talk about stuff like that. It's like I don't talk that way. Your ego is this, and try to confound my friends, or try to get my friends to see themselves in a negative light. I don't want anyone to see themselves in a negative light. That's the opposite of getting released. And then at one point, it seemed like he was saying that there's other people who are angry and would be doing some really bad things to a person like me, but he's very kind. And I noticed, he is kind. And I said, yes, thank you. You are very kind, considering what you made of me. You've been extremely kind. If I'm all those things that you said, and that's all you're doing to me, very kind. Because it sounds like I'm doing some really bad stuff over here. That's cause for punishment, certainly condemnation. bad stuff to happen. It reminds me of that quote, that Jesus quote too, forgive them, Father, they know not what they do. Because these projections of illness, like these ill projections, they don't reach me, but they have to keep them. And I know they don't have to manifest as anything. They do not have to. That's why, I don't engage in projecting that. I know what it feels like. I know what it means. I know what it represents, and I know it's meaningless. Even those projections of illness, I would have them released from all of it right now, not after they see something or anything like that. Right now, to not suffer any kind of karmic effects. Okay, I say to not suffer any kind of karmic effects from their interaction with me. See? That in that I have all the power. I decide. You can only project suffering in your own mind and only project it onto your self-image. See? So no one needs to suffer. It's not like I feel bad for those guys who fucking tried to condemn me because now they set themselves up and they're going to have to pay the price for it. That's exactly what they're saying to me. I'm not going to engage in that trick. That's a trick. That's what it is. It's just releasing everyone that we made into something. How can they have any karma that I didn't just project for them right now? How could they have done anything that I didn't project? It's not possible. So how could they have to suffer anything over it? See? Isn't that good? Yay. Thank you for listening, Lori. Lori's talking about Friday's podcast. She said she had a big insight. I'm so excited for you, Lori. Friday's podcast is on all the podcast stations. It is called Incorruptible. And you can find it on Spotify, Pandora, Google, all the different podcast stations. My Friday ones go there. These ones go to YouTube, and they're also on Facebook Live on my Facebook page. Wisdom Dialogues Online. That's what it's called. So thanks, you guys. I appreciate you. Does anyone have any questions? Or does anyone want me to speak on a particular topic before I close out this beautiful Wisdom Dialogue session? Yay. I love all of you. Thank you so much for joining. Oh yeah, I learn a lot of the things that I share with you through yoga. I think you guys, some of you might know. I usually have a yoga practice every day, not by my choice at all. It's just evolved that way and get a lot of teachings through that. So, if you're engaged in any kind of exercise type thing, yoga is also a physical exercise. It's mostly all about and really on as a base term, yoga has nothing to do with physical exercise. But when I'm talking about yoga, the practice, it is a physical exercise. It's physical, like running or weightlifting or anything like that. Okay. So any of that stuff can also be used as in yoga, the same kind of way. So the yoga that gets applied to it, like in a yoga practice, you really learn it through a yoga practice, I think. So it seemed like to me, where you're tuning your attention back into the exact sensation of whatever it is you seem to be doing. The feeling, if it's weightlifting, the feeling in that muscle. You're not just doing the thing that you think you're supposed to do to have your workout stay flexible or whatever it is, but you're tuning your attention into that particular experience that you're having. That is also an amazing practice. So if you are inspired toward, I'm not definitely saying that you should be doing any kind of exercise at all, physical exercise. If you're inspired to that and it sounds fun to you, there's something for you. If you like that kind of thing, if you tune your attention in toward whatever it is. I even started doing facial exercises lately. I think I shared that with you guys. It's basically like some yoga stuff that you do with your neck. A lot of it's like what you do with your neck. And you tune your attention in like that. It's a beautiful awakening practice. You just tune your attention to how that feels to do it. And what's interesting is that the app that I'm using, it's called Fit Faces. And the app that I'm using, the person who is putting it on is always talking about, you need to feel this. You need to really feel that muscle. And, that's what makes it work, because there's no physicality. So the only way the neck is going to get longer, like these muscles tend to shorten up. The only way those muscles are going to get longer is if you're feeling the length that you're allowing for them. And the only way you're going to relax your jaw muscle is if you're feeling what it feels like to massage it. If you're watching TV and giving it a massage, it's not the same. Tuning your attention in, and that's how they're presenting it now. It just shows that this evolution of how we relate with things, is how we relate. Our mental energy is relating with these structures of thought that it's projecting. It's like, hey, wait a minute, we really need to tune our mind into this, because this is the only way it's really going to have any kind of meaningful progress. In the illusion, and the illusion, it's meaningless all the way around. So only seemingly progress. But in the mind, the progress in awakening, that's the main thing. And that's where you're going to see, if you're using everything for awakening, the effects are going to seem to be awesome, because you're using everything for awakening first and foremost. And the fun thing that I saw about the facial exercises is, and the same thing about like a yoga practice, which is something for me that I really enjoy. And it could be the same thing with weightlifting or anything else, is that, man, when you tune in like that, you don't give a fuck what the results are. You don't care what the results of it are. Like, you don't care about having a fit face anymore. All you care about in this moment is, oh my God, that is sweet. That sensation is sweet. And you're just enjoying the sensation. That's how you know you got a good exercise going, when you're enjoying the sensation, because all the movements that you make, they're completely fucking meaningless. All those yoga poses, the bench press, poundage, how many miles you can run, whatever, the measurements, all that kind of stuff. No, it's when you can tune into it that it's gonna be enlivening, awakening, and make real progress for you. Real progress for you is toward awakening from this dream. It's not getting anything from the dream. Okay. It was about having a fall after thinking something in the world was attached to having a fall. Yes. Nice, 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 nice. I remember that from Friday's talk. Yeah. So when you attach the world to a high emotional frequency, you get these high emotional frequencies, where you just feel like you're on top of the world now. You just found the magic fucking bullet. That's the thing now. This is the thing for you. For some of my friends lately, it's been drinking piss. It could be anything. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, when you get on a high with it and make that thing as if it's your salvation, you can guarantee it, the opposite's coming around. The opposite of that is coming around. So a lot of my friends have been doing is going back and forth from highs and lows, highs and lows, highs and lows all the time. Okay. And one of my friends in particular saw it recently, when she was attached to something as a high, and she saw the low coming up, kind of like creeping in, and she saw the play. And once she saw the play in that way, she went into what I like to call phase two of that, phase two of dreaming, basically. And that's where you saw through the illusion. You saw that it was a pattern. Now you can't be deceived. Okay. Let's say this. You can't be deceived like you were deceived before. You can get the sense that you're being deceived, but underneath it, there's so much more awareness of I'm being deceived. You're never going back to the way you've been before. Once you see it the way my friend saw it, when she saw how those patterns play, and notice that, wow, I am making this up. And that's what a miracle is. I've said this a bunch, and it says it in A Course in Miracles. And I actually have a plaque of it that I made. I actually made two plaques just because, I don't know, apparently Anne needed one. So I gave one to her. It says, the miracle, this is basically the definition of a miracle. Well, it's a definition, okay? Because none of them are really true. Remember, nothing's really true. You have to see past the words. The miracle establishes that you dream a dream and that none of its content is true. And that's what happened to my friend. It was established in her mind that this stuff was not true. These highs and lows are not true. So now the highs and lows can play out. They can burn themselves out. And where you'll find yourself is what Buddha called the middle path between these fluctuations, not minding any fluctuations. So the fluctuations get less extreme. The highs are less extreme. As this like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I found that it's the best. It's like, oh, it thinks it's the best. How fun. Oh, it thinks that it's the worst. Oh, how fun. It's just not it's not a problem. Okay. It's not going to be a problem for you. Afraid to go to the high because the low sucks. Or if I do, I want to see. Yeah. The high, let it be what it is. The thing is, you don't have to be afraid to go to the high. You don't have to be afraid of any stupid ass fucking meaningless feeling. You can let them be what they are. Right. But in that, you're just allowing what it is. You're allowing that feeling of it being wrong or bad or meaningful, that you're on a high or something, and letting it just play out, letting it seem like there's an attachment. And that's why you have a high. Watching your attachments, watching them fall away. Those attachments fall away so easily when you see them and you're just willing for them to fall away. So you're thinking that that this high, you don't want to go there because it's not true. Well, good. Just let it play out. Watch. Oh, it doesn't want to go there because it's not true. Oh, well, let's just watch how it goes. You're going to find out what the real high frequency is like. The real high frequency. It's not way up here like this. Now, in the sense of what I talk about, where you're on these timelines, in terms of timelines, it's up because it's always ascending up in the timeline. But as far as emotional intensity, it's even. It's even as far as emotional intensity. So emotional intensity is a certain kind of high that's coming to a low now. Okay. And you can tell when you're on an emotional intensity and not, and, you know, it's not like you've transcended timelines. You're just on an emotional intensity because it's defensive. You know, you're afraid of being brought down from that. So that's how you can tell you're on an emotional one. That it's a different, it's a different, like that. I like when I say the high frequency timelines, that's a different vibe. It's even, it doesn't react to emotional fluctuations. Okay. It's an evenness that doesn't react to that because it's not taking those emotional fluctuations to be even meaningful. You just absorb the emotional fluctuations. And why I was talking about yoga, and it's, you know, it's helpful to you to see how this works, is that in yoga, you're always stretching your muscles, right? In a yoga practice, you're stretching your muscles. That is symbolic of stretching your mind. You don't necessarily have to have a practice of physical yoga to stretch your mind, but you could see how this is symbolic. Okay. So the symbolism kind of plays out. And when it's allowed to become stagnant, the muscle contracts and becomes shorter. So we tend to become leaner when we're practicing yoga because of the muscle like that. And the muscle, and it doesn't matter, some people will practice yoga and not a muscle won't lengthen. It's just, you know, there's like, this hurts, this sucks, I hate it, and all that kind of stuff. So we get these certain perceptions that are like, oh, that hurts, it sucks, I hate it. And there's this, and there's like this shortness that we have with them, kind of like those short, tense muscles. It's like, oh no, I don't want this. I don't want this. But it's kind of like stretching yourself, kind of like stretching your mind to embrace this sensation. It's like stretching your mind and to embrace the sensation. That's what I noticed this morning too. It was like I was in this really deep pose where I'm getting a lot of sensation in my hip, and I'm noticing that in order for me to stay in that pose, my awareness just has to keep on surrounding that sense, like there's something dangerous here, or too intense, there's too much intensity. Okay, so a lot of times when my mind will tell me that's too much intensity, I'll check in and go, is that really too much intensity? And I'll see where my awareness can expand and kind of envelop that. There was just less awareness. Now that's the same as we go through anything. You see, we just get a sense like something's too intense for us. There's something's too intense. This is too intense. Wrap your awareness around it. Oh no, I'm afraid of this high, this emotional high. It's too high. Wrap some awareness around it. It's kind of like you open up to embrace this sense that seems to be too intense. There's an embracing of it, and you can sense a sort of like a heat in the body's energy field because you're not used to embracing this much intensity. Okay. So it's like you're opening up to this kind of ride. It's almost like a roller coaster kind of ride where you're getting this sense like there's all this intensity and you're riding it out. You're letting yourself just flow with it. Those of you who have had that experience, either, you know, through a yoga practice or just in noticing with your mind, you know, it's like you know when you feel that heat and that sensation that things are opening up. Things are opening up. It's you know, when I first experienced that heat and that sensation, it was in a yoga pose. I was like, wow, what is that? Because it was really an emotional heat and sensation in a yoga pose. It seemed like the yoga pose was intense. And then I started applying it to other things because I was like, wow, I just can, like, I felt like I wanted to get out of it, but nothing was really hurting. There was just like this sense of fear, of a sensation of that's too much. It's too intense. And that's what we get with our emotional sensations. It's too much. It's too intense. And so you just open up to, can I just embrace this? Because you are way larger in a sense. You are way larger than any of it, and can embrace it. And like the way the Buddha put it, you become like this ocean that can just embrace any kind of intensity. Everything's small and nothing and easy. Okay. I have heat often in this body, no idea why. Yeah. So heat is symbolic of things that need to be released and sometimes are being released. So allowing that. Okay. So it's a symbol of like anger and frustration and irritation in the mind that needs to be released. It gets released through our experience and through our sense of a body. So we're really releasing for the world, not just for ourselves, but that, it gets extended for the world. It is the same one. There's only one of us. So yay, everyone. I'm so happy to have communicated with you for the past couple of hours. I can't even express how much gratitude there is for all of you. Everyone who looks in this direction, you are guaranteed to be successful. I know I say that to you a lot, and some of you think, but why is it taking so long? It's not taking long at all. Just looking in this direction is compressing time so much. See, it's been projected to last forever. It's been projected to last forever, as long as you'll keep it up. So you're collapsing this time all the time just by looking in this direction. And once you see what you're doing and that's what I'm calling phase 2, and then you just know. Okay. As you're looking in the direction, I just like to keep on encouraging you, because I know I'm 100% certain that you are going to be successful, and it's only a matter of time. And so if you find yourself going on a path where I don't want to listen to any more wisdom dialogues, I don't want to listen to any spiritual stuff, it doesn't have to be wisdom dialogues, it could be whatever it is that gets you focused in that direction. Just enjoy that. Don't throw in the towel on yourself. Enjoy that. If you're not guided to it, if you're not led to it, enjoy that period. That will pass. Trust that now that you've been set in this direction. And that's a choice that you make. So I'm not gonna assume that you have said it, but I'm pretty sure everyone who listens on here has or is very close to. So if you haven't, just all it takes is agreeing that you are willing to be set in the direction of awakening and truth. That's it. Okay. And you're guaranteed you're going to be successful. You can't even change your mind about that later. You can pretend to change your mind, but you can't really change your mind. It's like you have what my parents would say when I was a kid, the helmet of salvation. It's like you can't get away from this thing. It is it's calling you, and it's going to keep calling you. And any kind of sidetracking or any kind of diversion you do, it's all to help you go even faster. When you think you regress, it's actually being used to help you go even faster. And your being aware of that makes it real for you. Okay. Because it's all belief. So if you say no, and I doubt and all this stuff, that's all that makes it go longer. And you're going to release that. You're going to be released from that. It's only a matter of time. I'm sure of it. Okay. Have a beautiful rest of your week. I will be on Friday live in person at Hawaiian Sanctuary, 3 to 5 Friday, always free, even at Hawaiian Sanctuary. It's so cool. You can check me out at hopejohnson.org. You can send donations to me through hopejohnson.org. You can text me. You can email me. You can Facebook me. There's lots of ways to get in touch with me. You can send me any questions that you have. If you want to get pissed at me, you can do that. Also, if you're looking for one-on-one, I can do that. It's really fun. And if you just have a question and you want me to respond to your question on anything, let me know. Okay. Totally here and stoked and inspired about awakening all of the mind. And yeah, so I'm available for that. And I love you. Mahalo, aloha, and a hui ho. Yay.